the two teachers. Welcome to Check Mix,
where you can check your understanding by mixing the essential words of American government and politics.
Today's words:
amicus curiae brief. I love it when you talk Latin to me, Andy. This is that Latin expression that relates to the Supreme Court, friend of the court. When the Supreme Court makes its decisions, it hears oral arguments. It looks at the legal briefs, but it also welcomes expert and elite opinion. These experts write opinions that try to move the court in one direction or another. These are called amicus curiae briefs.
Front-loading. That's the role of those early state contests in the presidential nomination process. The Iowa caucus, the New Hampshire primary, South Carolina. These are those states that go early so that parties can give preference to voters of those states for those early nomination candidates. How do they mix?
So, Andy, in kind of an obscure way, I suppose you could say an amicus curiae brief is front-loading Supreme Court decisions. When we look at jurisprudence and how courts make up their minds, we imagine they take on principle first. They take on the details of the case. But in many instances, we wonder if those amicus curiae briefs played a disproportionate role in their decision-making. When that Harvard law professor writes that amicus curiae brief, does the liberal bloc on the Supreme Court say, if that's what the elites are thinking, that's what we're thinking? Amicus curiae briefs, front-loading jurisprudence.
Well, I definitely think you hit on something with elites and the role of elites. Not every voice is equal. If you're an interest group that's particularly prominent, the Supreme Court's going to read your amicus much more closely. However, in the presidential nomination process, we don't have a national primary. We give preferential treatment to those early states, Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina. Clearly, their voice matters in dictating which candidates have the momentum going into the larger process.
So, Andy, in both these words, we realize that elites play a disproportionate role in our pluralist system. Front-loading.
Amicus curiae briefs.
Check mix. No fancy words.
No fancy suits.
Plain talk about issues you need to know.
Just in time.